Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, it is time for Auto Repair with Personal Care. Matt Gibbs is in the studio to answer your questions. The phone lines are open. The number is 622-9622 if you have a question. And Matt has a guest today. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Larry.
Introduce your guest, please.
This is my friend Greg Linton. And Greg is he's helping me out on some issues.
Really?
Yeah, with Sunrise and Crossroad and
Greg.
And
the issues are business or mechanical or what kind of?
Well, you know me.
Right.
Okay, I've been very transparent in the studio and stuff, and just getting to. I want somebody that doesn't have like an invested interest in our company in any way.
Okay.
To come in, look at things, and make sure I'm treating people right, make sure I'm doing the right things. Make
Oh,
sure
really?
And,
like a consultant in radio.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. He's just looking at ways of maybe helping our company from the outside looking in, because we've had Sunrise for a number of years, and I'm kind of.
So how long have you been doing this, Greg?
I don't formally do it. Matt just called and asked if I would help, and I said yes. So I've been doing it now for about 3 days.
And what have you noticed, or are you kidding me?
Well, he's kind of. He's not telling the whole truth here.
I'm not sure you are.
As long as I've known him, and I've known him for 10 years.
10 years,
About
okay.
10 years.
I've watched him go into companies all in the Ocala area and stuff. And
do what?
And just, he has a God-given gift that he sees things, okay? In other words, he'll come into something and he'll see it. He'll see it from a different perspective.
Okay.
And then the way that his mind works, he says, this is what I'm seeing. Have you ever thought of this? Different perspective kind of
So
thing.
have you seen anything that you can tell us about?
Yeah, the truth is, or the rest of the story is, Matt, like most other business owners, know exactly what to do. Sometimes they just need a little prompting to act it out. And so I don't think there's any huge revelations, as much as there are confirmations of what Matt already knows and what he's already experienced. And so the challenge is just to get him to take that first step and then the second step and the third step, and then it kind of blossoms from there.
Does any of this have to do with him not liking Volkswagens? Is that part of it?
Why you got to tell everybody I don't like?
I'm just teasing.
I've just learned about the Volkswagen issue today.
Putting my dirty laundry out there for everybody to hear.
Well, let me tell you, when I walk into Matt, the first time I ever walked into the front office at Matt's place, I loved it. I mean, it was very homey. There was you can make yourself some coffee. He's obviously a religious man, and that means a lot to me personally. So I felt comfortable. Somebody else might not like that. I don't know. But for me, and I'm guessing all your customers are probably the same way.
Well, I wouldn't say all, but I would say probably the majority of the people.
So, but then beyond that, I mean, I just trust him. So that to me is as important as knowledge of cars, is just being able to trust him. If he tells me something's going bad, I'm not going to doubt it. But and a lot of times with mechanics, I say, gosh, is this guy telling me the truth? I mean, you see all these stories on the news about the hidden cameras,
Yeah.
And I just don't have that worry with Matt. That is truly my biggest thing.
And that's probably one of my closest things to my heart is not it's not about fixing cars. It's about building relationships. It's about building that trust. And it's not just to build the trust to get you as a hook. I got their trust now I can lay them away, kind of thing. It's that's what I've learned is that's what keeps our business in business. It's not fixing cars doesn't keep us in business. Taking care of people keeps us in business.
Well, yeah, but you have to know how to fix cars.
Well, that
because I could do all of the things you just said, and people's cars would be no better off. Fair enough, right?
And I'm with you on that.
All right, so do you observe like the mechanical part of what Matt's guys do, Matt and his guys?
No, not really. The challenge is just to listen to Matt's heart and hear what he wants the business to be. And what he stated at first, his very first statement was, how do I draw more people into the facility? And so what you experienced at the facility is probably echoed by many. So the challenge then is, how do I draw more people into that? And so then we talked about what is the ideal customer type. And so Matt laid out what he sees as his ideal customer based on the technical staff he has, based on the years of experience they have, based on some things they've had success with over the years. So we lay all that out. And then from there, we just put together a little action plan as to how to make that come to life, how to go to the marketplace and get those people to come and be aware of who he is and what the business offers, and to become an active customer for the business for the long term.
So can I kind of say something about this show? Because I think this show helps in that regard, and I'm not trying just to promote the show. I really do. If I read an ad in a magazine that said, "Come get your car fixed at Matt's place," it wouldn't introduce me to Matt. Right. This show does. I think the dialogue that Matt has with us, with me primarily, but with all of us really, is being broadcast. I think really lets people in on who Matt is.
Yeah. Right. And he has said the same thing. He feels the same way, that the show has brought him customers for the car lot, as well as customers for car repairs. And so, in his definition, this is one vehicle that he can use, no pun intended, to draw people into the business. What else can he do? Is it door-to-door sales? Is it a newspaper ad? Is it another radio station? Is it tapping the relationships that he has with you guys to grow that business? So just listening to him talk, he feels the exact same way you do about the radio show and the impact it's had.
Yeah. And obviously, have you spoken to the customers? I mean, do you get feedback from them?
Haven't yet. We just literally started talking Friday.
But that is part of it?
Yeah.
I'm a customer. Let's see, what would I mean, I can't, okay, so I can leave my car there in the middle of the morning when nobody's there, put my car in a little box, and I'm confident that everything's going to be safe.
Well, you said some key things already. You talked about your introduction into the facility, so you're comfortable in the showroom.
Right.
You have a trust for Matt.
Right.
Those are huge.
Yes.
And so then the follow-up questions, if I were talking to you or trying to get insight from you, would be, is the repair what you thought it would be? When you dropped the car off, you had a high level of trust. When you picked the car up, did that trust maintain or increase or decrease? Those kind of things, to find out if the whole experience is what you'd hoped it would be. So is the whole experience enough to bring you back? Is the whole experience?
Absolutely. Have you ever heard the Seinfeld routine about New York City cab drivers? He says they drive crazy, but you say, well, they were professionals, so I'm okay, even though they're going all over the road. Well, that's how Matt drives. Matt drove my car one time with me in it to test something, and we were all over the road. I am not exaggerating. And all I could think was, what's Matt? What could go wrong? Matt's actually driving this car. He's a skillful driver.
Yeah.
But you can't crash these self-driving cars. I saw this guy from CNN. He tried to crash the car on purpose, and it wouldn't crash.
Yeah, well, I haven't had a chance to drive that car yet.
Well, it'll be interesting, Greg, to see how this grows. So how long are you guys going to be hanging out together like this?
That's going to be something me and him will sit down, talk about. And,
is this what you do, Greg? I mean, you go from business to business?
Not really. As Matt said, I have a love for doing business planning. And for whatever reason, as Matt kind of laid out, business has always been fairly easy for me, at least the seeing the strengths and weaknesses and solutions portion of it. Uh-huh. And so it's something that I really enjoy. And Matt and I have known each other for a long time. And we've talked about it a couple of times in the past, but never really crossed that road. So it's not a profession as much as it is a passion, something I really enjoy doing.
Do you know what I'm wondering? Are you going to see anything that's going to be a hard pill for him to swallow? Are you going to find any of those things that he knows and it's kind of a difficult pill? You know what I mean?
Well, here's the deal with that. That is something that you're only as transparent as you allow yourself to be.
Right.
Right. So here's my deal. Then this is my stand. This is who I am. My deal is here it all is. The pill is only difficult to swallow if I choose to make it difficult to swallow.
Right. That's
right?
a good point. Good point.
So I am at a place, and I have learned through experience and having a business, being a business owner for a number of years, that I can choose to make that pill difficult to swallow, and then these are the repercussions, or swallow the pill, and these are the repercussions. I'm okay with if he comes into my office and closes the door and starts pounding on my head for this reason. I have to look at that, and I'd be a fool not to look at that, especially somebody that's gifted in seeing that. So I choose not to make that pill difficult to swallow. It's.
I wonder what would it be. Do you have any? Have you been there long enough to see one like one?
No, but to your point, that is the hardest part for most business owners, is for someone from the outside to step in and say, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better, or have you thought about this?
Yeah.
Because everybody has an ego, and whether they want to admit it or not, they have an ego.
That's true.
And they have some sort of ownership to the policies and procedures that make the company go. In Matt's case, the very first thing he asked or stated was, let's look at pricing and make sure that I'm being fair to the customers. And so that told me right off the bat, there's no sacred territory here. In other words, he opened up the entire veil of the company and said, let's start here and make sure that we're doing this right. And so that gave me permission. Plus, we've been very open with each other for years, but that gave me permission to say anything to him that is productive. And so
yeah, that's good.
There may be something, but I don't know what it would be, because he's too open and too interested in not just an immediate fix. I'm not trying to land the account for Sears. I'm not trying to land the account for XYZ pest control company. I want to do some significant things for now, but for the long haul. It's not a quick fix. It's how do we make. He has a vision for Sunrise Automotive, very clear, very obvious. How do we make that vision come to life? And a vision for a business is not an immediate thing. It's how do we do this for the long haul, and that's where I see Matt. So I don't think there will be any sacred cows that.
And the other extreme could be too. I mean, we've known that Matt has actually given away a car. Not that I'm advertising that, but we know that he helped out a lady who didn't have to pay a penny for the car that he gave her. Right. So that could be the other extreme. I mean, that's another bitter pill. You're too nice. Is that possible? Are you charging too much, or are you charging too little? Yeah,
it's very possible that he's not charging enough. We talked about oil changes, for example, and not to.
Yeah, the oil change thing. I'm going to tell you my thing about this, because Matt one time told me he makes no money on oil changes.
Right.
So now I feel bad going to get an oil change.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. It's like I don't like to use my credit card at the convenience store to buy a soda.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm ripping off the convenience store, because they pay more for fees than that soda's going to cost.
Yeah. Well, that soda they're charging you $1.99 for, they're probably doing okay. But Matt has, for example, for fleet customers, he has a 1-year oil change. So you pay for the oil change once, and you come back every 3,000 miles, did you say?
4,000.
Every 4,000 miles. And so for all year long, if you're a fleet customer, like let's say Currington Contracting, for example, they have a number of vehicles. And so they pay an annual fee, and then every 4,000 miles, they bring their vehicle in for a fresh oil change at no charge. And so it's a flat rate program, pay once, come back all year long. In theory, Matt could lose money doing that, because he's only getting paid for the oil change one time. But what it does is it builds exactly what you said early on, builds a trust relationship between Matt and the customer, so that they're going to allow him to look at other repairs for him as well. And as I've heard advertised on this radio show, he can do that. He can do tires, he can do headliners, he can do
window tinting,
everything. And so to the degree that your vehicle needs something, then Matt becomes the source for that.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be hard to convince already existing customers. I think it's the new customer because everybody's always on guard, especially with a doctor or a mechanic, somebody.
Yeah, they're on guard, but it's exactly what you said. It's because they've had sour relationships before where the trust factor wasn't established. So to the degree that we can establish a trust factor, really all he needs is one opportunity to fix your car. Whether that's an oil change, whether that's to rotate the tires, whether that's to put brakes on it, whether that's to put new tires on it, whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah.
In that transaction, the minute the people interact with Philip at the front desk and the mechanic that's involved in, I guess they're technicians these days, not mechanics, the technician that's involved in making the repair, all of those steps are building the trust. So once you've begun to lay that foundation, then you just build on it. And so the same trust that you two have built together, I think will be available to all the customers.
Yeah, man, that's doing my job. That's okay. That's okay. I wanted to hear the whole thing. Okay. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. By the way, phone lines are still open, right?
Yes.
So you can call in if you have a question. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Some fog patches this morning, otherwise it'll be mostly cloudy, warm and rather humid today with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm from late morning on, the high 75 to 79. Mostly cloudy and mild tonight with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly early, low 59 to 63. Tomorrow, areas of fog in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high of 72 to 76. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Hey, it's Christy with Ocala Mac and PC Repair and Ocala Guest Wi-Fi to let you know we have you covered. We are the only local certified Apple and Microsoft computer company in Ocala. We are family owned and operated. From mobile repair to wireless networks, viruses, new systems, or security cameras, we do it all. Check us out online, ocalamacpc.com, or give us a call, 352-566-8324.
Tell them Nick, Madison, or Mason sent you and get free diagnostic.
Get your internet telephone service from the company that brought affordable internet service to Ocala in the first place. All Is Safe is a sister company of Ocala Guest Wi-Fi, a company you've known and trusted for all your internet needs. Whether you need a phone or hundreds, we've got the products and services to meet your needs both now and in the future. Our plans include everything from local and long-distance calling to equipment maintenance and even software upgrades. You can count on All Is Safe to give you cost certainty knowing that your bill will be the same next week, next month, or even next year. Call 352-450-8647 today to learn how to cut your monthly telephone bill up to 60%.
This is the Salvation Army, and I'm Major George Patterson to let you know that the Salvation Army is available 24 hours a day to provide help to anyone. We also have a family store at 120 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala. On Tuesday to Saturday from 9 to 4, you can do your shopping, or if you want to donate, you can call 352-732-4469, and we'll even pick up. 352-732-4469. All funds generated by our store go into the programs here in Marion County to help the needy.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
In a recent study, when college kids played a violent video game on a 3D screen for just 15 minutes, they felt angrier than students who played the same game on normal 2D screens. Research in the Psychological Bulletin shows that when women are representing somebody else's interest, they usually out-negotiate men. If you tend to respond with "not now, I'm busy" with your voice or with your body language, your marriage is going to be doomed.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking: will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
All right, 23 minutes after 10 o'clock. Matt Gibbs is here with Greg. What's your last name again? Greg?
Linton, Linton.
Linton, Greg Linton. And the phone lines are open if you want to call in and ask a question about your car, or if you want to comment on what Greg has been saying, which is pretty fascinating, actually. I love this. I mean, it's very much like a consultant for radio. I've sat through those things, and those often have bitter pills you have to swallow, too. You do have a phone call coming in. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Good morning. This is Robert calling. This question is for Matt.
Yes.
Okay, Matt, we have a car that uses E85. I've never used E85 fuel in it before.
Okay.
Can you tell me, is that good or bad, or it's cheaper? The fuel is cheaper. Do you still get as good a mileage? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, here's the thing with the E85. Do you not use it because it's hard to find? Or
We just always use it because it's convenient to get the regular unleaded.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, even the regular unleaded still it can contain up to, what is it? I think it's up to 10% ethanol anyways.
Okay.
So here's what I have learned, and I've learned these by asking questions. And those that get the E85, yes, it's a little bit cheaper, but there's a higher alcohol level content in the E85 than in the regular.
Okay.
Therefore, the alcohol will burn at a much faster rate than the unleaded fuel will burn. So even though you're paying a little bit less money for it, you use more fuel, so you get less miles per gallon than you do with the regular unleaded. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I don't think we're talking about a great deal of money between the difference, because you're going to use more E85 than you are regular unleaded, but it costs a little bit less. But at the end of the day, I think it kind of weighs out, and your car is equipped to run on either, so it really becomes a matter of preference.
Okay.
And it becomes a matter of convenience for you. That's the way I look at it.
Also, the environment, wouldn't that be better for the environment?
Now there's the thing. If it's an environmental issue, then the E85 is definitely more friendly to the environment.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you. Have a great day.
That's good to know.
I know.
If you want to be a good steward of the. Pretty soon, all cars will be perfectly clean. The electric cars that drive themselves. There'll be no accidents, etc. You'd have another phone call. Good morning, you're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Oh, they left. They bailed out.
They left our show, Larry.
They left. Matt Gibbs is here to answer your questions. Greg Linton is also here explaining what he's doing to help Matt. Maybe if you're a customer, maybe there's something you'd like to contribute to this. I would love to hear. I mean, I've had a very good experience with Matt and Philip and everybody else over there. Completely comfortable with leaving my car there at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. every time I bring it.
I got there this morning, and I was by there yesterday in the afternoon, and there was nothing happened.
Right, right.
And I got there this morning. There was a Ford truck sitting in my parking lot, and I got there early, and he actually called me early, and he dropped it off late last night. Uh-huh. And so I asked him. I said, "Where are the keys?" He said, "I left them in the ignition."
Oh no!
You did what?
I trust you. I don't trust the neighborhood though.
He said my truck running so bad, if someone stole it, they'd have brought it right back onto you. So there you. I said,
see, and even if I had a tow truck, if I I hope this doesn't happen, but if I had to have my car towed, I would say, bring it to Matt's place and bring me home.
Yeah,
I don't even need to be with it.
Yeah, and that happens a lot because we have a drop box, and all the tow companies know where we are and know who we are.
Yeah. Need you have another phone call.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Say, how important would you say having a clean and organized, neat workshop? Several years ago, I had to have a certain piece of work done on my car, and I had a fellow of mine that highly recommended this guy was the greatest guy in the world. And I went to his place of business, and I'm telling you, it looked like a bomb went off. And I walked in, and I just turned around and walked out. It was such a disorganized mess in there, and I really didn't care how good the mechanic was or not. Do you put any emphasis on having a neat, organized workshop?
Okay. I'm just here's my transparency.
Is this the bitter pill part? Yeah, it's not messy to me.
No, it's not. But not because of me, but because of my guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, yes, I like to have a nice, clean shop. But sometimes when we're just going at it crazy, things can tend to get messy and out of unorganized, and my guys yell at me all the time because I'll go run and grab something and use it, and I'll put it on the top of my toolbox, and they're now they need it, but they're all good about putting things back, but yeah, that is important for some people. Appearance is important.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people have come by and looked at my shop here lately, but they see that the parking lot's been blacktopped and the hedge has been trimmed and things have been cleaned.
Oh, okay.
And it's just because it does affect some people, and I don't want to discourage those that look at appearance.
Matt, we're absolutely out of time.
Let's go.
Thank you. And Greg, thank you.
Certainly.
That was great. We'll be right back. This is WSAO Canada.
France taking extra precautions after last week's terror attacks, stationing 10,000 troops at sensitive sites.
The defense minister in Paris says that's almost as many soldiers as France has deployed abroad. The French government says 3.7 million people attended anti-terror rallies yesterday, but the hunt continues for the widow of one attacker. She's now thought to be in Syria.
Fox Radio's Simon Owen. Cuba has completed release of 53 political prisoners, part of a deal struck last month between the U.S. and Cuba. Some surprises at the Golden Globe Awards last night.
Boyhood was the big winner with